Scooby-Doo Return to Zombie Island was released in 2019 and was both a sequel to the 1998 Zombie Island and the second part of the trilogy that began in Scooby-Doo and the Curse of the 13th Ghost. It was directed by Wes Gleason, who had worked on a couple of films in the franchise, and written by Jeremy Adams, who had previously done the Supernatural crossover, which I'll cover at some point. The film was released during the 50th anniversary of the franchise, and was intended to be a celebration of what came before, embracing nostalgia while still bringing in new ideas. Unfortunately, it falls short in some very key departments. The retcons necessary to fit it into the current canon are egregious. The story is both repetitive and has crucial elements left unexplained, and there's an utter lack of atmosphere. There are still some positives. There are a few decent jokes, with a recurring one about the gang avoiding solving the mystery, based on a promise to Shaggy, and the animation is decent quality, accepting a relatively controversial art style. Finally, the performances in general are solid, with the modern cast all doing their best with what they have. To start with, the film is billed as a return to Zombie Island, and could be expected to have similar themes and ideas, as it was with an older gang, and real stakes. In order to maintain continuity with the 13th Ghost, however, the gang have to be kids again, so Daphne's TV show, that was on its second season, is somehow now a school project in summer. The other jobs aren't addressed, and it just feels so blatant. They recap the entire first film, with some bad meta jokes about how they all already know the story. So it's established that magic is real, something that Velma insists isn't true throughout the rest of the film. She's in the DC universe, denying the supernatural is denying reality. There's also a bizarre clue where pages have been ripped out of the guest book at the villa, and the host doesn't want the gang to realize they're on Moon Scar Island, renaming it to Moon Star. That's dumb, but can be accepted. What can't, however, is they never signed a guest book in the original film, and there'd be no reason for a guest book to exist. They were luring people on the island to kill. It wasn't a hotel, and they didn't want any evidence. This is literally referred to as the most important clue, but it makes no logical sense. There are other things, like the guests wearing the exact same clothes as the characters from the first film, again without apparent reason. It's later revealed they're making a film, but it still doesn't explain the outfits, as they aren't playing the same characters. Overall, too much logic is thrown out the window, and Scooby-Doo has never needed complicated mysteries. Just a few easy-to-follow clues and it's a wrap, but instead the film embraces nonsense. The story is similar to the original, in that there are zombies and then cat people in a final reveal. Except there is a cat person shown early on, the zombies turn out to be people in masks, then the cat people also turn out to be people in masks. The initial motive was to make a film with the Scooby Gang as the real fake actors, which is relatively unique, but the final motive is just finding buried treasure. And while it does reference a loose end from the original film, it's still the most bog-standard Scooby plot. When the two monsters revealed as imposters, Velma declares there was never any supernatural threats at all. Despite this, there is another cat person. Who are they? Where do they come from? What are their goals? Who knows? It's never expanded upon or even alluded to. They show up, make trouble for the gang, then wander off. They make reference to it being a loose end, but there has to be some resolution, and the film just leaves it as a random werecat. Genuinely baffling. Zombie Island was arguably the darkest Scooby-Doo ever went, including visuals, tone, and real threats of violence. The Return has none of that, with brighter colors, less fearsome monsters, and a pervasive, Marvel-esque sense of humor, where even moments of actual danger are fraught with gags. The film even goes to the trouble of replicating scenes from the original in the new, digital style, highlighting the differences in such a sharp way. Despite all the negatives, the film isn't boring. It moves at a good pace, and there are occasional moments that show the creative spark the team had behind it. But, ultimately it feels like a contractual film more than one born of love. The original Zombie Island was such a beloved piece of the franchise that evoking it in this manner feels like a Weekend at Bernie's situation, parading around the visuals without any life behind them. Onto the tier list, it fits solidly into the D tier, although that's more for missed potential than being truly awful. It's D for disappointing. No new locations were visited either, just back to Louisiana, so no new updates on the map. That's all for today. I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Be well.